this year is it drought or something like that?
Oh yeah, national disaster. Part of the
I see.
national disaster. So they are trying to mitigate and trying to see how they can bring in the irrigation and growing winter maize and so forth. So those are some of the measures they're taking.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Anyway, yeah, a great morning to everyone. I think Mr. Enoch will be taking over just now.
Okay.
But also just to make the sessions interesting, we have a couple of um, little gifts that we'll be giving away. So at the end of the session, we'll ask some questions which we have to answer. Those who get the answers correct will get we've got t-shirts, we've got stickers from the internet computer, and many more other prizes. So yeah, just stick around until the end of the session. And make sure you're listening attentively so that you can get yourself some prize from these sessions until we are done. Okay, over to you, Mr. Enoch.
Okay. So today we are continuing on what Mr. Confident left on yesterday. We'll touch on the types of Motoko and get into a little bit deeper on how you can actually build some real production application, like the basic steps you need to do and how you can go about it. All right, so before I start, can you render? You're raising your hand. Go ahead and mute your mic. Okay. So let me share my screen now. All right. You all can see my screen. Is it confident?
Yes, we can see your screen, sir.
Okay, that's cool. All right. So let's start by it'll be like a coding session. We'll be trying to create a small application. So let's say you want to build an actual application, and usually in most cases your application have users, right? You want to save some users and some user data, emails, usernames, etc. And normally in the Web2 solutions and development tools, you have database, NoSQL databases, Mongo, like MongoDB, SQL database, Postgres, etc. And you usually create a schema for your table, right? And then you connect the database, and then you start saving your users. So that's so we have the same setup when we are building on the internet computer in the canisters, but we don't we create what are called like custom types. So yesterday it's going to be touched on some native types we have, some bounded types we have. But you know, as you can imagine, as you start building on some real application, you need to you need to start to have some custom structured data, right? So let's get started. Let me create a new application. So I'll create a new project. I'll call it, what can I say, DFX new. Let's just say users, and want it to be a Motoko project. And then for this one, we don't need any front end, so we will select no front end.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Kindly zoom in, please.
Zoom in. Okay. Or let me zoom in when I open my VS Code. Or can you zoom this? Yeah, it's. I'll zoom in a bit when I my VS Code. Sorry for that. So let me just take it into my users application. All right. Now I can zoom in.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So this is our new users application. It doesn't have the front end, so we have the users back end, and with the basic boilerplate code for a grid function, and then we have our DFX JSON with our single canister, the backend canister. So so we use data for storing information, for storing data in our canisters. We use different type of data structures. We can have arrays, we can have buffer, HashMaps, Trimap, right? And you usually choose one depending on your use case. If like your data is not really, like, doesn't necessarily need to grow very big, you can just use like an array or a buffer. But if you have some data that can potentially grow really big into like 1,000, 10,000 of records, of course you need quite a better and bigger data structure that can accommodate that. So we usually have like Trimap and HashMaps, right? Those are like normally the best data structures you might need to use for storing actual real data. So let's look into some documentation for HashMaps and Trimaps. Go to the Internet Computer website. Let's just say HashMap. That's the type we'll be focusing on today. So yeah, this is a HashMap. I'm sure some of you, if you have programmed before, you know what this is. So this is basically the functions the HashMap exposes: size, get, put, etc. And so really this is like an important resource as you continue to come and play around with the Motoko. Because if you go to, the information is here on, what is it? Build, let's see, Motoko. Yeah, you come to languages and then you select Motoko, and then there's this Motoko base library. So this is where you can see the data types and structures we have in Motoko: array, associated list, blob, Boolean. So yeah, a really good resource to come and play around as you'll be writing your code and see how the type and the structure you are using really work. The functions it exposes, you can find it all here. So yeah, really the hash map here and the trimap, well, we forgot, and the trimap as well. They're basically functionally they work almost the same. The only difference is like under the hood, the Trimap uses a trie for its like for storing its values, and the HashMap uses what is called an associated list. So so yeah, and you can come here and see how to like how all these functions work. But anyway, you will see this in practice just now as we're going to build something. We are going to be using a Trimap in this tutorial, in this session. So if you have installed the extension, the Motoko extension, you will be able to do some cool stuff that makes your development easy. So let's say you want to define a hash map, you can just type hash map and it will generate a hash map, like the basic setup for the hash map for you, like this. So values are stored as key value pairs. You'll be having a key and the value, right? So as you're working with the data, it's like you want to query your data, you'll be using the key you would have put here as and you get your data. And then if you want to use a try, again, you can just do that, and a try map will be created for you. Okay, so anyway, before we do this, so we want to create an application for storing users, like for CRUD for users. So you will define a custom type for your users, right? Or the schema, if you wish. So I'll go and say type user equals, and yeah, the user will have an ID on the computer. That you can just have it as an ID that can be a text. But what's normally common on the internet computers, you usually be using maybe the principal ID here. Now we'll get to discuss what the principal is in a bit. So you can have the principal ID for the user. You can have it as text. We put a semicolon. Then we can have like a name. We can have it as text as well. Email for a user. And what else can you want? Like maybe age. And of course, we would like to know when the user was created. So you can have a timestamp, and it's usually in int, right? So we have created our custom user type, our custom type for users, and then we can create a map for storing these users, right? So we can say okay, we need to put a column here. Is it still visible? Like, is this? I zoomed out a bit. Let's use
It's fine.
okay. So we're using the Trimap. So it has to be imported from the base library, the Trimap, as you can see here. So yeah, if you are someone who likes to walk around and really understand what's going on under the hood, you can like control click here and it will get you to the Trimap, and you can actually see how it's really working. The keys, the values, and you get to really understand what's going on in your code. And then okay, so we will need to, so our key will be the principal, right? So will be our ID, but it will be just text here. And then the value is the user. Value is the user. And here we just have to import text. And here we have, okay, for example, we don't know this. Okay, so yeah, we have our user type, and then now we have our state variable for users. So this is now like our database table. This is the equivalent of our database table, and then we can now start feeding and updating data into this. So now let's start creating some functions. We'd like to add a user first, of course. So we have a public shared function. So shared function, this basically means other actors, other canisters can call this function. So if you know, like, you need to have some kind of intercanister calling in your project, you need some other actors to call your functions in your canister. You need to label a function as public shared as a shared function. All right, so yeah, we want to create a user, and we want an argument of user. And it has to be an asynchronous function. If it's a public function, it have to be, it's a public shared, it have to be an asynchronous function. And well, so when we create a user, we really don't want to return something. We can just return nothing like this, and then users put, yeah, this is correct. And now we want to get the user, right? So we have public shared, let's say, what ChatGPT is doing for me, or what Copilot, I mean. So this is not very correct. Okay. All right, yeah, so public shared is a query function. We are not modifying any data, right? So we have to let we have to let our canister know that this will be a query function. So we have to put the keyword query so that our our function calls doesn't have to go through consensus for query there, and they execute at a very faster speed. So public shared query function get user, and then we are getting user by their principal, and then in a sync function. So here, this question mark is because when you get a user, sometimes you may put the wrong ID. The user may not exist for that ID. So the value is optional. It can be no, or it can be a value. So you can do this. You can just put a question mark, and that will be cool. So in your front end, you know you have to handle these two cases. You can either get a no value for the actual user. This is good, but as you start to build a bit more complex applications and functions, you don't just want a no value. Sometimes you really want to know what happened in your function, right? So there's the issue of error handling, which I'm going to introduce, which you really need to use in your functions. So error handling will really let you know exactly what happened in your functions, right? So there is a type called the result type. Result dot result. Okay. Right. So what this result does is it returns, if everything goes well, it returns an okay. If everything goes wrong, it returns an error. So we can have a quick look into the result type. So you can see here, it returns an okay or an error. Yeah, if you're familiar with like TypeScript and Rust or statically typed languages, you know this, result type thing. So yeah, this is how you define it, result, and then you get the result object, and then the first value is the okay value. The second is the error. So now we are getting an error here because this doesn't return the result. So now we have to handle this differently. We will use a switch statement. So we'll do switch user certificates. Right. So for the case where we get a null value, right, we want to return an error. And then with the text, yeah, user not found. That's right. And then for the case where we have the user, we return an okay. Return an okay. And we've handled our function correctly. And now we can actually know what happened. So let's say we had other multiple cases. So you can imagine you start having to add different types of errors. Here on the error, you can even have like an actual custom error type with a number of different errors, which you will then handle. differently in your function. So yeah, that's it for the get user. And then let's create another function. Of course, we will need to update our user, right? So we will public shared function get user, and we have arguments of the user, right? As you can see, this is like really identical to the create user, right? Because this basically works the same, right? So if we have the user at this principal, we will just override the value. If there is no user at that value, we will just have create a new value. So it's like what update or create something that if you're using SQL databases. So, but it is a good practice to create this function so that you won't confuse yourself. To have a separate update function, even though it's working like basically the same way. And then we would like to have a delete function, which is okay. Yeah, like this. So this returns an option, right? Like the user at this principal may not be present. So that's why it's screaming it as it's giving us this error, like optional value here cannot produce this type. So you can fix this by putting ignore here, and it will be okay. Or you can also use the delete function. The delete function, and the delete function won't care. If the value exists, it will remove it. If it doesn't exist, it won't scream at you. It just leave it like that. So yeah, and then we'll definitely need to get all the users, right? So public shared. So this is the query function. Get all users. And yeah, so there is an iterator structure that is used to convert these mapped values into an array, because we want to return an array. So you can simply do for the iter value, iter, then you import it from base library dot to array. So here it's not values, it's hours, right? So in this case, we are just interested with the values. We just want to get the values, right? But if you want to get an entire, like an array of the entire entries, like the key value pairs, what you can simply do is here, you just have this. So we have text, then you have the user, and then here now you won't be saying values, you will be saying entries. And you'll be good. This will return the key value pairs. But in most cases, you just, for easy data handling at the front end, you just want an array of the values, and you'll be good. So yeah, that's it. Our CRUD function for our CRUD implementation for users is now complete. Now let's try to deploy it and test it. So let's just let's deploy. Let's open the candidate UI from this URL, and so we have our functions create user. Yeah, so someone who was asking yesterday, the random, this is where it can start to become a little bit helpful. You see, there's a lot of records. I'm trying to type everything inside. We type continue, so I can just go random, and it will create a random user for me, right? And then if I say get all users, it will show me the user that has been created. So this is their principal. Let's copy it. Let's get that user. Yeah, you can get this user. Let's try to update that user with that principal. So we paste it here. And let's change some value. Actually change to name here, and let's put some real value. And let's call it. Right. So now let's see if the update was successful. Let's get the user with that, with the same principal. So you can see the user is now updated. And let's delete the user. Now let's get all users. There's nothing. So yeah, our CRUD implementation is working as it should. And then I'm looking at our time. Okay, there's one more type I would like to introduce as well, called variant type, right? So suppose you want to have some form of access control, right? In application, you can have access level, and you want to give it some type. So let's create a type, a variant type, access level. Let's call it access level. So how you define it now? You define it with a hash, and then the name of the value, right? And of course, this has to be have to be semicolons. So you can define them just like this, or you can also give them some other type as well. Like this can be some text as well. You can actually do this, or you can actually put another custom type here as well. So you can handle it as you wish, as your use case entails. So our access level, we would like it to be our access level, maybe of type access level, right? And this certificate one more function in just to demonstrate how you usually can handle this variance in the code. So let's create a public query function, right? Let's say get is access level, and yeah, we pass in the principal ID, passing the principal ID, and what we would like to get is just some text. What we want to get from this. So we get the user, right? For the case of no, okay, so this will be, we'll need to handle a number of things here. So as you can see, a result type is now the very appropriate one to use here. So result result. So in all cases, we just want to obtain some text. In the OK case or the error case. And so now we get the user of the principal. If the user is a null value, we want to return an error that says user not found. And then if there is a user on that principal, we would like to switch on that user, on that user's access level. Yeah. ChatGPT Copilot did a good job. Okay, yeah. So for the case of an admin, I would like to say you are an admin, right? And the case of user, you're just a user. And then for the guests, like say, for a guest. And right, let's see. Yeah. Okay. Something is not correctly figured. Yes. Yep. Right. So now our get access level function is now complete. So now let's deploy this and test it out. Yeah, it's giving us a warning because we have our user type we had before, it doesn't have access control. And now this one, we're updating has access level and they are not compatible. So it's asking me if I would like to continue. So I'll say yes. Then let's test it out. So let's create a random user. Why it's not working? Okay, it's not working because here we have to manually select. So let's say we want to create a guest. Then let's go random. All right, so this is the principal. So now let's get the access level for this user. You are a guest, and okay, wrap up. So yeah, that's how you handle variance. You can only have one value at a time. They have a very important use case as you keep developing. So yeah, that's it for this demo. I'm sure this will help you quite a bit in the coming homeworks. So before I introduce you to the homeworks you will be working on, and there's some questions here before we proceed. No questions, I guess. Okay. So, we have the homeworks. I think they are also pinned in the group, in the announcement, announcement channel, right? So this is the website. CG. Because we will send this link, right? So this is a website where you will need to come here, register an account, do the homework, and submit it here. So you come here and you log in. So
There is
right.
a question from Lorita. Okay. So can you check a question from Lorita in the comment chat box?
Okay. Let me see. Okay. So the Trimap and the HashMap, like they are not really different. They expose the same interface. They basically work the same, right? But yeah, I didn't mention this. You would want to use a Trimap over. Yeah, this is the interface for a Trimap, and it's basically the same with the HashMap, right? They are just different kind of inside. Like a Trimap uses a try, and the HashMap uses what is called an associated list. Yeah, so you would want to use a Trimap over a HashMap because a HashMap have what's called like an unpredictable insertion cost, right? Because on the internet computer, you can as it will be executing, it will be consuming cycles, right? And a HashMap, it have this behavior sometimes where when you are inserting data into your HashMap, it's like rehashes the entire table, right? It's kind of an unpredictable behavior, but it usually does that. So when it does that, in that case, if your core was going to consume X number of computation costs or X number of cycles, it will be slightly more because it's doing kind of unnecessary computation, right? So it's not really a very significant difference like for small application, but it can come to effect when you are building like really big applications. It will end up costing you a little bit more cycles than a Trimap because of that thing of rehashing the entire table itself. So like that's basically the difference and the reason why a Trimap would be like more recommended than a HashMap. But yeah, for small applications and everything, you won't really see any difference or any effect. All right. Any other question? Okay. Yeah, so as you log into this website, so there's what is called internet identity. To those who don't know internet identity, it's the authentication system that was developed by the internet computer, right? That is used for authentication tabs, applications on the internet computer. It makes it really easy to authenticate into applications without the need to claim any password, and also it's easy to authenticate with. You can like create a pass key in your phone or your laptop, or a secret key, right? A secret key USB, that little thing you can use as well, and you can use it too. And you can also even use, if you really want, sometimes you can even use a password as well, but it won't be really necessary. You can just store create and store your pass key on your machine or in your phone, and it will also generate what is it? A secret key for you, like a passphrase, right? Because you can also use the internet identity to actually store some ICP as well. So here, to log in on this tab, you can either use the internet identity or use the NFID. The NFID under the hood works the same as the internet identity, but it allows you to log in through your email or your Google or your Google account. So in case you are having challenges to create an internet identity, you can use the NFID. So in my case, I will be using the internet identity. So if it's first time for you, it will ask you to create a new identity. So you come here and then you do like create new identity, and then it will ask you some security questions, and it will create an anchor for you, the anchor for your identity, like this number, which you just have to store. But once you log in, you don't necessarily need to claim, but you have to store it somewhere along with the seed phrase. Then you store it, just store it one time on the side. But then you can continue logging in with that. So yeah, I have a couple of identities. In my case, I will be using this one. So yeah, I use my phone to authenticate. Yeah, so I authenticated with my phone, and once you log in, it will take you to this page where you need to register, right? So I'll say, I'll put my details. So here, you put the name of your institution you are from. If you're an independent developer, you can just say independent. And here, you put your link to your GitHub profile, right? As the example suggests here. So I'll just put a fake one here, and then you register. So once you have been registered, you'll be taken to this dashboard. So here, you will see here your progress. So with this couple of homeworks you need to go through, right? So you just have to you just submit your homeworks as canister IDs, right? So I'll demonstrate this just now. So you do your homework, you complete it, you deploy it to the playground, right? And then you just come here, you paste the ID, and you select which number of homework you are submitting, and then you submit. And if there's something wrong like this, it will give you an error. Like this is actually a fake Chinese ID, so it gives you an error. And if it's successful, it will show you here. So let me demonstrate that just now, and then show you the actual homeworks. So let me do what? Let me deploy. We have a deployed homework. Don't have at the moment. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Right. So later. Okay. So say you are cooking your code locally, right? and you have gone through the homework and you did the implementation, right? And you are satisfied with you have deployed it locally, you have tested it. So what you now need to do is to deploy it on the playground, right? The playground is important because this verification works with a live deployed canister, right? So only on the playground do you get to have a live deployed canister, but of course it will just run for 20 minutes, but that is enough for you to submit your homework. So you can deploy on the playground from command line. You can do dfx deploy. You just want to deploy the backend. Playground. Playground. Yeah, so this backend have the correct implementation for homework 1. So I just deployed it to the playground. And then what you want is the canister ID. This one at the end. We can also, and it's not here. All right, so this is for local. Yeah, so this is the canister ID that you want here, right? So you copy it. You can also just open this URL and test the function for your project here as well on the candidate UI, right? You do, after you implement, you test your functions. First homework is a calculator, right? So you test your functions. Then you grab this canister ID, and then you come to your homeworks. You want to submit homework 1. You paste your canister ID, select homework 1, you submit. Homework 1 verification successful. Also, you can now see, you can see here, homework 1 completed. So if your canister is not working as it should, or if you modify, if you change the names of the functions as they are given to you, it will give you an error as well, because the verifier will be looking for these exact names, right? And then it expects some inputs, some outputs from the functions, and then if there is an error, it will tell you on the top here. So the homeworks themselves, like I said, in the announcement, pinned in the announcement, and then let me show you here as well. The homeworks we have. So on our GitHub, right, on our GitHub, of course, we will share this link. You come here to Zambia-Mzansiweb3 Bootcamp, you open it, and then here you can see homeworks, right? And homework 1, right? So homework 1, there's also some resources you need to go through that will help you understand a few other stuff, like concept variables, comments, and nuts, etc. It's good you go through this reading, and then inside here, that's where there is the actual homework. inside the project directory. That's where there is the actual homework. So we follow these instructions here, right? And if you open the main.mo, you will see that the structure for the homework are laid out for you, right? The add function, the return types, and everything. What you just need to do is to put the functionality for this to actually work as it should inside the functions. The functions have been declared for you, so it will be really easy for you. So the add, the subtract, multiplication, reset, power, square root, flow, yeah, and make sure to check with the instructions so you really understand what is expected, right? And then when you're done with homework 1, you can move on to homework 2. And we will be having sessions where we will be helping you if you're having some challenges in your homeworks. So we'll share the link just now as well to homework 1, so you can get started. You can deploy. You can develop it locally, or you can develop it on the playground. So local playground. Yeah, you can actually just search Motoko Playground and it will give you this. So you can actually do this, and then you just come and copy the interface for the homework. You paste it here, you fill it up, you complete the implementations, you deploy it, you grab the canister ID. If you're satisfied, you log in, you register, you paste the ID, and you submit your homework. And here you can view your profile. This is what I entered here. You can modify. So for you to start editing, you have to click edit, and then you can now edit your profile if you made some mistake. So yeah, profile is now updated. So that's it, guys. We're a bit over time, 8 minutes. Sorry for that. But yeah, do you have any questions on this homework as we wrap up now?
Okay, Super Rod, you've got your hand up. Do you have a question?
Yes, I do have a question.
Okay.
I just wanted to understand why you need to use the syntax share on the public, what you call it?
Okay. That's for other canisters to be able to call your canister, right? So if you know, like or even in your very same project implementation, you have multiple canisters in your project and you'd like them to communicate. That's where the shared part comes in, because with that, your canisters won't be able to really communicate. Right?
I thought the public syntax was exactly for that.
The public is for the functions to be accessible just outside. Like if a function is public, I would be able to see it on this, like on this candid UI interface. But if it's private, it won't be here. You see, so usually private functions are for internal logic you will be handling, right? And then the shared part now is specifically important for inter-canister calling.
I see. And why stable in front of a variable?
Stable. Okay, yeah, very important question. We actually have like a complete session on that, where we get into stable structures, why we need stable structures. But in short, it's just that its primary purpose is for the state of your canister to be persisted across upgrades. So you deploy your canister, right? And then you update the code, you want to deploy it again. And if you don't use stable, your state will be lost. But if you use stable, you know your data is persisted permanently, and it won't be lost unless you remove it yourself.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. William.
Yeah, hello, good morning, everyone. I just wanted to know if the attendance form is ready, please.
Is if what?
The attendance form for tracking the students that are attending class.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me share it in the group just now. Thank
Okay.
you for the reminder.
Hi, Enoch.
Hi. Hi, again.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I was a little behind on the registration where I was supposed to register for, is it the MW3 tab? Should I click on the on the NFID or internet identity? Which one?
You can use whichever
Either.
you want. You can start with internet identity and try to create your own internet identity. That will be cool. But if you have really some challenges with the internet identity, you can go for the NFID, because it's much simpler. It just uses your Google account. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but it would be cool to start with the internet identity. Yeah.
Okay.
Looks okay. That looks like there's no more questions. All right, thank you guys. Let's meet in the evening. You can start working on your homeworks. If you have any challenges, feel free to post in the group. Thank you. Have a good day.
Sorry, Mr. Enoch. I had promised to post
Oh, okay.
A poll, so we'll give you a minute to answer. So I'm going to post a poll. You have to answer it within a minute, and then I'll close it. Is that fair? It's just one question, so you just click on the answer, and then we'll know who got the answer correct. Okay.
Yes, it's right.
Okay, so I'll start my timer just now.
Where are you posting it?
Here on the screen. Just watch your screen. I'm sure you can see it now. It's live. Can you guys see it?
I saw it now, it has disappeared.
Rafael, you should
can see it.
Answer. Select your answer on the poll. Don't post it on the you're supposed to select the answer on the poll. Don't post it in the chat.
I don't see it.
You can't see it?
Yes, I can see.
Yes, Kelly.
Yes, yes, we can see it.
It's on the right corner next to the chat icon.
On activities.
Yes, on activities. You click there and then you go to polls.
Okay, we'll just allow people to see this one. Can everyone see it now? Gelly, you have a question? You can go ahead and unmute your mic. So, so this one will be a little bit unfair because there were some answers that were posted in the chat box. Should we still consider it fair, Mr. Enoch?
Yeah, it's fine. Maybe it was a wrong answer. Go ahead, Kelly, unmute your mic.
Okay, I can see the poll that you posted because every time I try to press on it, it's taking me out of the meeting. So I don't know what's going on.
You click on activity.
I clicked on the open button for the poll, but I didn't see anything.
Are you using your laptop?
No, I'm using my phone.
Yeah, I think maybe that might be the reason.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I'm not so sure. Okay, so I'll close this one. We've got 5 people. Let me just show. We've got 7 votes. Let me see if I can see the names. Okay, we have 5 people who got it correct, which is the canister, which is a canister. Okay, so but here I'm failing to see your names, guys. I think I didn't put the setting to show the names of who got it correct. It's very unfortunate. So probably on the next poll, then have the prices, since this one has and people were confused. So in the evening, we'll have another poll. We'll have another question to ask you. Then we will give out some prizes then.
Mr. Frederick.
Mr. Confidence.
Yes.
Let's fulfill the promise. You know, it will dampen motivation.
Okay. So if people are
let's reset it.
Okay.
Okay. The 5 who voted, canister, can you just...
Yeah, you can just type in the comment box. I think that's easier.
Just be... Just have to be honest a bit. If there's 5 people, don't want to see 6 people who said...
Sure. Let's just
if you said canister, please just send in the chat.
Yeah.
I think there's a timestamp on the chat. So if you look at the timestamp, it should tell you which one came ahead of which one.
Yes, I'm sure so.
No, but on the poll, I can't see it. I can see the names. I didn't.
No, but there'll be a timestamp on it as well.
Okay.
Lorita says she's one of them. So maybe 2 people. Supero, did you vote on the poll?
I was the first to type on the chat. Then you explain. Then you explain that it should be in the poll.
Oh, okay.
If you look at the chat, you will see that I was the first to type it there.
Okay. So these are the 5 people. Okay. Awesome. So I'll take note of this. So we've got our 5 people. Awesome. Congratulations, guys. Yeah. So others were not listening. I don't know who voted for Seva. Is Raphael. But it's okay. It's okay. Anyway, yeah, we are past our time. Let's meet in the evening, guys. We'll see you in the evening. Have a great day.
Enoch, one quick question, please, if I may.
Yeah, sure.
What extension do you use for the prompts on your VS Code?
For the prompts, like for the code completion,
Yes.
I GitHub Copilot.
Sorry?
It's GitHub Copilot.
Oh, okay. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So let's catch up in the evening.
A question, sir.
A question. Okay.
Yes. No. I joined a bit late. I don't know if this presentation will be posted on the.
Yes. Yes. We'll be posting. Yeah, soon enough.
The link on the.
Yeah, the link to the YouTube video. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Mr. Enoch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has brought again about three options, where the window, hello, or external security, and the Infinix, which is my phone somewhere. So where should I create a passkey?
A passkey.
Yes.
On your phone can do.
Okay.
Yeah, try on your phone. Yeah, and then let's continue talking in the group.
In the group, okay.
Yeah, sure. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.